guys, for another exciting day of OCAA volleyball. We have the Humber Hawks and the Redeemer Royals here from the David Braley Athletic Center here at Mohawk College. A consolation game, but you know it means a lot to these players. I'm Lucas Mancini, joined here with Ryla. Ryla, what are you looking for today in this one?
I'm looking forward to a whole lot of things, Lucas. I mean, because we are, in our last day, this is the qualifying. I mean, it's going to be an exciting match. Everyone is going to be trying their hardest today, and everyone's going to be playing their hardest today. This match, I expect to, to go maybe to 5 sets.
Wouldn't be surprised. So with that said, we're about to get on their way. Both teams just having a little huddle, and we're about to get on their way in this one. Should be a good one. So Ryla, with all that said, we have two teams here who unfortunately couldn't make it to a medal game, but they're definitely going to be playing like it is. One Redeemer plays with a lot of passion. Same goes for Humber. Both of these teams really do want it. A lot to prove. A lot of these guys, it could be their last game that they play at this level, and they've worked their whole lives and careers to get to this point. So you're going to see this all pour out on the court today. Well, a couple players to watch here for Humber. Clayton Blanchek, obviously, a leader in kills in the OCAA with 322, a West Division scoring champion. And for Redeemer, we got the BC boys, Stiller, Tallcap, and Bontes. And the coach, Brad Dowes, was the coach of the year in the West Division here in the OCAA. So we just got stars all over the court today, and it should be a good one as we are about to get on the way. Shoes are just being tied, shoes getting wiped down, making sure nobody slips, referees getting into position, and we are almost on the way for an exciting one here today. Players don't look too nervous, a lot of hooting and hollering going on. They're just excited to be to this point, knowing that this is the last day of this tournament.
One thing I'd like to mention too, Lucas, is, as you mentioned, this might be some of their last chances, but none of them seem to have any kind of dull faces. They all look so excited, and it shows the true sportsmanship here. Even though, this isn't going to move them forward into a medal, I mean, they're still happy to just have this opportunity.
You play your whole season to get to this point. Serving for the Humber Hawks, number 14, Adam Kinshock, and we're off. Redeemer with a good serve over the net here. Humber getting up. Alex Gibbs, he's going to be doing that all day. Redeemer lucky enough to get the first block there. That is Humber's offense right there, signified by Alex Gibbs, coming down with those hard strikes that he likes to do. He's in the Powerpuff socks, but he doesn't play like a Powerpuff girl. That guy has a lot of power behind his sets. Humber looking to get set up here. And a little bit of a miscue there. Redeemer sets up here, looking to get their own offense going. And a hard ball. Redeemer gets up to a 2-0 lead there. Absolutely great start for them, working the offense around. It's always good to get teammates involved early in this one. Number 3 here serving for them is Pearson Stiller from BC, all the way. Made the journey for this. Unfortunately, couldn't get it in there. Maybe a little bit of nerves early on in this one as he gives up an easy point to Humber. And here we have one of the best players the OCAA has offered, Clayton Blanchek. As we mentioned, the leader in kills with 322. He really does drive the offense for this team and is the heart and soul of these Humber Hawks. And a little bit there of a miscue for him. Unfortunately, couldn't get that in. Maybe some nerves playing there for him, putting Redeemer up here 3-1 early. It did seem yesterday in these games, especially for both of these teams, that mental errors were definitely a thing to watch for early on. The first sets were very sloppy, so let's see if they can get this set up. Alex Gibbs going back for it there. Stiller with the nice setup there. Harris coming through. Tolkap tried to get it, he wasn't able to. He's a leader in digs for this team. One of the better defensive players in the league. He had 146 digs. That just goes to show he's not afraid to throw himself all over the court to try and make some plays there for his team. One of the better players for them, Colin Skanes here, to serve it for Humber. And it's a good serve. Tolkap sets up. A good block there, and Humber's going to get some early points as well. Some good defense, and we're at a tie 3-3. Wouldn't be surprised, Ryla, if we had a back-and-forth type style of game.
Yeah, that's definitely what I'm assuming is going to be happening from a lot of the games today.
It's kind of what tends to happen as you get later in the tournament. A great effort there. Unfortunately, the great effort leads to no points. A little bit of a miscue there from number 5, Sean Bruss. Had a great day yesterday. Played good enough to get his team here. It's just an early miscue. Colin Skanes will Serve it again. Here we go. Harris with a good touch. They try to get the offense, not through him. Unfortunately, number 11 for Redeemer there. Morgan Rutledge, one of the better offensive players for the team, just put a little bit too much on it there. Colin Scans will serve it again. A little bit of an uncharacteristic miscue there from Rutledge as Redeemer is up, Humber 5-3. Rutledge looks to get it back, a great diving play. And unfortunately, we're gonna get called with an infraction. Points for Redeemer, 5-4 now for Humber. And we're gonna have a serve here from Travis Dyke. His first serve of the day. Let's see if he can get it off, as a lot of serves have found the net early on in games so far in this tournament. A great block there. Awesome points there. Michael Majason for Humber, playing a great game. He's one of those players that gets involved a lot offensively and defensively, and he's one of the driving forces from this Humber team, which is lucky enough to have such great players like him, Clayton Blanchard, and Alex Gibbs. Great overall team effort. There's Gibbs serving there. Nice little touch pass from Redeemer. Humber gets it back over, setting it back up. Rutledge with the hit. Clayton Blanchard tried to make a good defensive play on it. He wasn't able to. Morgan Rutledge finally gets one of his patent spikes to go for some points there for Redeemer. Redeemer still down 6-5 early in this first set. Morgan Rutledge, known for a lot of his offense, expect a good serve here. A very high serve, and put a little bit too much on it, Riley. I think I might accidentally jinx him there. But that's kind of what happens early on in games. You just have a lot of unfortunate miscues as nerves and jitters kind of tend to take a little bit to get out of the way there.
Yeah, you just got to get set into the game.
Michael Majason serving for the Humber Hawks. Oh, a great play there. Number 5 for Redeemer. We got Sean Bruss making another amazing play. As we mentioned earlier in this one, he was one of the better players yesterday for Redeemer. A reliable man on defense and both offense. As he gets a proper serve over the net, Humber looking to get set up. Alex Gibbs comes through with a little bit too much on it. No, they're gonna say he got it actually. Good call by the referee there.
One thing I'd like to point out about Alex Gibbs is that right now he's sitting at 103 digs.
Yeah, he's one of those players that even though he's really strong offensively, he still finds a way to get himself all over the court. Blanchard couldn't get it there. A little miscue for Humber, unfortunately. Going to turn into some Redeemer points. Humber's offense taking a little bit of a time to get going. As we mentioned, pregame jitters. Sean Bruss will lead us off here. Great play by Gibbs. Nice dig by Gibbs, as you mentioned. Here comes Harris, one of the driving forces on the spiking side of the ball for Redeemer. Gibbs coming through with his own. Great defense play by Tolkap. Gets it right back over to Harris. And he puts it, the referee is going to call it inbounds for them, 8-8 now. Sorry, out of bounds there. Harris, one of the better offensive men for Redeemer. Just couldn't find the line on that one. Great play by Gibbs. Tries to get it over and he can't. He's just not been able to find this offensive stride early on in this one, as Redeemer's going to grab a 9-8 lead off of that there. As we expected, Rylan, we kind of talked about at the beginning of this one, we are seeing a lot of back and forth, no team being able to pull away early on in this one.
Yeah, the teams are definitely evenly matched today.
Not able to find the line there. He will sub off. Tolkap will come back on, greeted by teammate Sean Bruss. Serving here for Humber, number 14, Adam Koshnik. Koshnik just gets it over, and that's a perfect serve. Actually, didn't look like it was going to make it over the net, and it found a way to just drop in front of the Redeemer defense, and Humber finds himself now with a 10-9 lead. We'll see if he can do some of the same here for Adam Kishnock. Nice set by Tolkap, as you'll see a lot of in this game. Morgan Rutledge, too much power on that one, not able to make a defensive play as Humber on that one. If Redeemer can get that going from Rutledge all day, they are going to have great success throughout this one, as a lot of their offense does run through him. Him and Harris are two of the stronger spikers for this team, so don't be surprised when you see the balls getting set to them in positions where they can succeed. Gibbs with the nice set here. Gibbs going to come back and smash it down. Tolkap, as he always is, with the great dig. Rutledge, nice little touch there. Kishnock makes a nice play. In comes Clayton. Blank shot, we haven't seen a lot of him yet. Redeemer's going to grab the points off there.
you can see on Clayton's face, there might be a little bit of frustration that they just haven't been able to pick up a lead and, have a continuous streak of points coming in for them.
Exactly. He's one of the driving forces for this team, and we haven't seen too much of him, but I would expect that this will change very heavily through the game. Here comes Harris getting ready for a big one, and he's going to find points, back-to-back points for Redeemer, something we haven't been able to see too much of today. We now have an 11-11 game as Harris is going to set us up here. As we've mentioned continuously, one of the better offensive players for the Redeemer Royals. Nice set by Blanchek. Kishnok gets it. Gibbs, nice little left-hand touch. Setting back up. In comes Bruss. Nice play. And they're going to say he went over the net. No, it's an infraction on Humber, actually. Redeemer, 3 points in a row. We were just talking about how it's been hard to separate these two teams, and now Redeemer's sort of finding a way, although Humber's kind of hurting themselves here. 3 unanswered points now for the Redeemer Royals. Harris is going to lead us off again. Unfortunately, he's not going to be able to get that one over the net there. Humber's going to grab some points right back. And we are going to have serving for us number 17, Colin Scans. Great defensive player in his own right. See if he can get a good serve off here, and he does. Tolkap with a nice move. Oh, and he was unable to get it over there. Number 14 for the Redeemer Royals. Travis Dyke, not known too much for his offense, more of a defensive player. Couldn't get the ball over there, unfortunately, for his team. Colin Scans will serve us off again. Let's see if he can get some more points for his Humber Hawks. Tolkap with the great play there. In comes Rutledge. Too much for the Humber defense. A great play there by Rutledge. He has so much power. He can really elevate himself there with his jump in order to get that ball going to more of a downwards motion so that the Humber Hawk cannot make a play off of it. Look for him to continue that, as he is one of the better spikers here in this tournament as a whole. Bruss moves it up. Here we go. Oh, great play. I think he jumped into the net, though, and they're going to call that. Redeemer's going to grab some points off of that. Unfortunately, there for Michael Majason.
One thing I noticed too about Lucas for Humber is that it's a very rookie team. A lot of their players, it's only their first year.
Exactly. And there's 2 things to that. Maybe not as much experience, but you can definitely build toward the future, and they would love to get a win here, as that would only help. But with plays like that from the second-year man, Clayton Blanchek, you can bet that they are going to be a driving force in the OCAA for quite some time. Alex Gibbs, one of the players we've highlighted to be one to watch in those Powerpuff Girl socks we all love. Great swag by him. Ross can't get it over. Great play by Tolkap. Able to keep the ball alive. Harris just has to touch it over as they were on their 3rd touch. Humber looking to set up here. We got Blanchek coming through. Great defensive play by Redeemer. Nice touch here. Looking to get it. Oh, but Jason makes a great play, and he's able to get it past the diving Harris. Great points there for the Humber Hawks as they now jump out ahead once again, 15-14. Alex Gibbs going to serve for us here again. Harris with the nice touch. Looking to maybe get back to him. It's Rutledge coming through, and Humber with the great defensive play. Michael Majason, he makes up for maybe a little bit of a lack of size there as he comes in this game at only 6 foot, but he gets really up there and he's able to play great defense for his team. An overall well-rounded player. Here goes Rutledge. Unable to get it, an uncharacteristic miscue. Not happy with himself there at all. Humber will get points off of that. 16-15. First set continues to be back and forth, as we would expect from most of this game here in the consolation game at the David Braley Athletic Center, presented by Bel Air Direct. Great play here for Redeemer. Humber looking to set back up. It's Clayton Blanchek. Oh, Tolkap isn't able to run over and get that as he normally is. A little bit of a miscue from the defense. Humber once again able to get some back-to-back points. Up here 17-15 now. Michael Meitzen looking to get going again. Nice serve. Redeemer's able to get some offense off of it. Rutledge kind of throws off the Humber defense. Here comes Blanchett. You know he's going to try and power that through, and he does. Big offensive points there for Humber. He's one of the better players who's able to just tiptoe the line. As we mentioned earlier in this game, he led the OCAA, this being Clayton Blanchett, number 16 for Humber, led the OCAA in kills. He just has so much power behind his spikes and is one of the driving forces for this Humber offense. But Riley, so far in this game, we've had a lot of back-and-back type style of point going, what do you think Redeemer needs to do to be able to maybe keep up with Humber, as they are now 3 unanswered points here? Redeemer.
I think
defense.
Redeemer, they need to find, the weak link. They need to, find the one area that the boys aren't covering over on Humber's side, and, just try and get the ball in that specific spot all the time. They also need to maybe work together a little bit better as a team. Like you've mentioned, there are stronger players. I mean, the boys from BC, we have 3 of them. They're all very good players. Ilya Tomkamp, as you mentioned, he's leading in digs for Redeemer with 146. And so, I mean, yeah, they need to get their head in the game a little bit more and just focus down and just hope for the best at this point.
Well, as you mentioned that, trying to get your head back into the game, award-winning coach here, Brad Doze, for the Redeemer in his 7th year with this squad. Not so much an animated coach, a little bit laid back, but his team knows that his common presence in itself is a very intense one. We're going to have one. Michael Meitzen once again just gets it over. Great defensive play needed there by Redeemer. We're going to have, great play there by Sean Bruss. He's able to get that one over. Number 5 for Redeemer. He's found his way on the offensive side of the ball. That's what Redeemer exactly wanted to see. Coming out of the timeout, pardon me. Let's see if he can continue his great ways. Here we go. We got Blanchett setting up. Great. Oh, they're going to call that. Good play there for Humber. Blanchett was able to just get it over. Some good points there for Humber. 19-16 lead. Clayton Blanchett, he's so hard to stop right in front of the net there. An OCAA West Division All-Star, 2nd year for the Humber Hawks. Harris with a great play. What a play there by Gibbs to make a great dig, pardon me. They're setting up Harris. No. Nice little deceptive play there. In comes Rutledge with a great spike there. Some great defense by Meitzen there. Humber looking to get it set up. In comes Clayton. Takes a little bit off of that one. Here goes Harris. Going to put some power behind that, and it's going to work out there for the Redeemer Royals. 19-17 now. Redeemer finding some offense coming out of this timeout, like you mentioned, Riley, trying to get their heads in the game, and it looks like some common words there from Brad Doze, coach of the Redeemer Royals, maybe getting his team a little bit invested more into the game. First serve coming here today from Wes Shilstra. Shilstra doesn't maybe see as much court time as some of his teammates, but he's effective when he gets on there. You need that to be successful at this level. Blanchett trying to get it over. He's going to be able to. Harris wasn't able to defend the ball the way he necessarily wanted to. Not too many people can, though. As mentioned, the leader in kills in the OCAA, Clayton Blanchett. And only his 2nd year, too, so he's showing that he's a well-developed player with only 2 years under his belt. Nice little serve here. Tolkap with it. Harris coming through. Nice little deceptive play. They're going to call an infraction on him, unfortunately. They're calling a lift. Going to be some points here for Humber. Humber gets to that ever so important first 20 points, as they are now up 21-17 here on Redeemer. Of course, 25 is what will win you the set, but getting to 20 is a race in itself. Adam Koshnak, here we go. Tolkap with a great. Harris gets it over. Nice play by Meitzen. Getting over the Blanchett. Tolkap's going to be there, though. He's going to need to be there on a lot of those for this. Here goes Rutledge. A nice diving play here by Humber. Getting it right back over to the offensive Clayton Blanchett. Great diving play there by Rutledge. Harris just gets it over. He's there on 3 touches. We are having some great rally here. Blanchett looking to end it, and he's going to put it way out. Just a little bit too much on that one, unfortunately, for Clayton Blanchett. A little bit uncharacteristic there, but when the ball gets rallied for so long and so much craziness is happening, sometimes little mistakes like that can happen. Serving here, one of the BC boys, Pearson Stiller, one of 3 BC boys. If his parents are watching at home, be proud of your child. He's been one of the better players for the Redeemer Royals. It must be nice to be able to watch him here on the M-Link stream. We're going to take a look at the replay of that there. As you can see, Blanchett just goes to set up, and unfortunately, Tolkap isn't able to get what he normally is able to get on it to set up for an offensive play. Blanchett just shows too much after not being able to get that last strike in. Humber with the serve here. Clears the net. Harris with it. Looking to move it back over to Harris. And it's just an overall great spike there. Number 12 for Humber. Wasn't able to pick that up, that being Mark Harris, the 2nd-year man, known for great defense. And he's going to be subbed right back out. Clayton Blanchett coming back on. We got Harris serving. He's had a great offensive game, as we all expected. Great defense here by Humber. Meitzen comes through. Redeemer's not going to be able to make a play on that as the ball's going almost out of the gym. 23-19 now. We are 2 points away from the first set going to the Humber Hawks. They're starting to put their big men in, maybe trying to put the nail in the coffin here in the first set. Don't be surprised if we see some set-up spikes real close, maybe towards more so the middle of the net. Humber with a good serve here, looking to get it over. Here comes Rutledge. He's able to put that in. Clayton Blanchett didn't even make a play on it. He thought he was going to get it out. Unfortunately, he underestimated the ability of Rutledge. Rutledge's spike there. He gets it in. Grabbing some points there for Redeemer, trying to keep this close. It's a win-by-2 situation. As you know, for these sets, 23-20 now for Humber. Big point coming up here. So we're going to get the serve off. Gibbs wants it. He calls for it. Spikes it right in there. And unfortunately, it doesn't look like he's going to be able to toe the line there for his Humber Hawks. Redeemer's going to grab some points off that and get it into a 2-score game. Pardon me. No, they're changing their call. That was for Humber. He was able to get that in. And now they are 1 point away from getting this set. They kind of found the way to pull away in this one. Harris with a good set there. Here comes Rutledge. Clayton makes a nice play on that there. He's going to come back up to try and spike it through, but it's Mites, and Tolkap isn't able to make the play on it that he would have liked to. It was a great spike, great athletic play to just get a touch on it, and our first set wraps up 25-20 for Humber. They are able to pull ahead in the first set as we will switch sides. So Ryla, first set done. What's one of the factors that you saw that Humber was able to do to be able to win that first set?
One thing, I mean, I always notice watching a men's game, you know, comparatively speaking to a women's game, is just the power that they have behind the ball. And that's something that, you know, Humber, I mean, as you mentioned with Gibbs and Blanchett, like, they have so much power behind their serves, their spikes, their digs, everything. Exactly. That, you know, we see the ball come over into Redeemer's side, and just because the power behind the ball is there, they aren't able to control the ball, and I think that's where Humber might be picking up a couple of points is from that.
We got a little replay coming out here for you to summarize that first set we saw. As you can see, we're talking about that Humber, and this is exactly what Riley was talking about. You see Gibbs making those great plays. Unfortunately, wasn't able to get that one, though. You see Redeemer being able to get it over, maybe a little bit of a hand over the net there, but still a great play. Here's Redeemer's offense. Blanchett unable to make a play, and that's Rutledge. You talked about the power of some of these spikes. On example there, Redeemer setting up a little bit more. Rutledge once again, same replay we're talking about there, just great overall power. And here you go, you're about to see Gibbs jump out of the roof on that one as we're getting set back up. And you talk about a lot of the power that Humber has, and a lot of that comes from proper training and exercising and putting yourself into a position to do that. And Humber is coached by a 23-year veteran, Wayne Wilkins, who really is probably all over his players. As he has 23 years of experience, he knows what it takes to craft a winning team, and he knows crafting a winning team involves working out like we were talking about.
One thing I want to mention about Wayne Wilkins as well is that his brother is actually the coach of the females team for Humber. And so, I mean, you know, they're probably able to work alongside of each other and get some tips, tricks, and, you know, just work both of their teams into amazing players.
Absolutely. Yeah, when you have two coaches like that do know each other, you can kind of set up the same types of plays, have the two teams work together to create a good dynamic overall for both programs. Obviously, the women's are battling in their own rights in their OCAA championships. We here are focused on the men's. As you can see there, Wayne Wilkins talking to his team. It's a calming force for the team. You know his team's always listening to each and every word he has. We got just under 30 seconds to get this one underway. Here in the second set, Humber looking to get up to a commanding 2-0 lead as they enter back onto the court here in this consolation game at the David Braley Athletic Center. Don't be surprised here if you see in this second set a little bit of a back and forth battle like we did. Shout out though to the BC boys, Stiller, Tolkap, and Bontes. Some of the best players that Redeemer has to offer. It just goes to show the great scouting that this team has as they search so far all the way across the country to grab these players. It just goes to show that proper scouting can turn into great players all the way from BC. Kids might get a little bit homesick sometimes, but you don't get homesick when you're playing volleyball with a great team coached by a great coach, and Brad Does. And we are going to get set up by our BC boy, Pearson Stiller here. Gibbs gets it, sets it up. Nice little play there for Humber. Redeemer coming with their own. Gibbs, an absolutely great diving dig, able to get it back over, set up for some more Redeemer offense. Blanchett makes a great play on it there. Blanchett's going to get it right back over. Tolkap unfortunately gets a hand on it. Maybe should have let that one go as it looked like it could have bounced out. But sometimes the ball, as we talked about, is moving too fast to make a good judgment play on that. Good play there for Humber.
One thing I want to mention about Gibbs too is Gibbs is actually from Calgary. So I mean, he's another one of those players that, you know, they traveled a long way, but they're loving what they're doing right here.
And an absolutely great play there for Redeemer by number 12, Jeff Ikanuawu. One of the better players for Redeemer. He's got a lot of power behind that spike. He's a great defensive player as well, as he controls a lot of the middle of the net here. We got a nice little serve coming here from Mitchell Harris. He's had great success so far with his serves. Gets it over, Gibbs with it. Gibbs gonna come back out with a big spike. And we talk about the BC boy Stiller there, was unable to handle that. A little bit of some Western Canada volleyball going on right there. Gibbs, as you mentioned, from Calgary, spiked it off Stiller there. Wasn't able to make some deep offense happen from that, as Blanchett will get set to serve here. Taking his time, making sure he's mentally ready. Unfortunately, maybe took a little bit too much time, displeased with himself. Served it out of bounds as we now have a 2-2 game. Jeff looking to continue. Great offensive play so far. A high serve. Blanchett falls to the ground on the dig. Great play. And we're gonna get a net infraction as Redeemer, pardon me, dove into the net there. 3-2 now for Humber. Big set here as Humber could go up 2-0 and put a stranglehold in on this game. Redeemer's gonna have to pick it up a little bit here. A nice set here. We got Harris, unfortunately not being able to get it over. Great defense from number 4 of the Humber Hawks, Andrew Blakely, a very tall man, listed in here at 6'7", just a little bit taller than myself at 5'8", so you know that he'd be playing a lot better defense than I would. One of the better defensive players for Humber. And as I'm talking about his defense, he makes a great offensive play there, set up by Alex Gibbs, as Humber has 2 unanswered points down. Great spike there for some good points. Those spikes that go more towards the ground with the velocity that Riley talked about are just unplayable, and you see a lot of that. And an unfortunate error there for Gibbs. Very animated player, not happy with himself there. Redeemer will definitely take it though. In these kind of tournaments, giving away points like that is kind of the determining factor in a lot of these games, and unfortunately for these two teams playing in the consolation games, they just had maybe one too many miscues, but it happens. Clayton Blanchett with his patent spike. A great spike there. Harris gets it over as they were on their third touch. Blanchett getting ready, but it's not going to go to him. Blanchett can't make the defensive play on it. Redeemer's going to grab some points and go ahead for the first time in this one. 5-4 now for Redeemer, as we are going to get Sean Bruss to set up here for the serve. That's very automatic on his serve. Nice touch there by Gibbs. Good dig. Awesome play there from one of the BC boys for the Redeemer Royals. Number 4, pardon me, not one of the BC boys. That was Brady DeBoer. 6'3", able to make that good defensive play there. There goes Humber. Great play there by Stiller. They just got to get it over, and they do. Nice there with Blakely, setting it up for Blanchett. Nice defensive play there for Redeemer. Gibbs sets it up high. They got to get it over, and they do. And there's a little bit of a rally coming here. Here comes Harris. Good touch on it. Nice play by Majason. Setting up Gibbs for the big spike, and he's loving it. Getting some love from his teammates. Very animated player, as we talked about. Those Powerpuff Girl socks giving him the power there to get some points for Humber and put them back up 6-5.
One thing about Jason too is that this is his 5th year, and so he is the veteran of the Humber Hawks.
Great defense there by Blanchett and Blakely. Harris just gets it over. Gibbs with a good touch. Blakely setting up, but it's going to be Blanchett that hits it over, and he is able to get some points, being congratulated there by his teammates. 7-5 now from Humber. Michael Meitzon's going to serve again. He's had some success here today on his serves. Serves can be very underlooked. We saw a couple of our games yesterday, especially in the early on ones with Humber and Redeemer. They just had a lot of serves find the net, so it's good to see that they've been able to get those over. And as you see, Redeemer's going to get some points off of that. Gibbs put his body on the line there to try and get a diving dig. Unfortunately, could not. And we are going to have Redeemer points and a Redeemer serve. Successful serve Gibbs redeems himself. Blakely can't get it back over, unfortunately. Good play by Redeemer there. Some great defenses. They're able to tie the game up now at 7s. Brady the Boer in his 2nd year with the serve here. Gets it over nicely. Sets it up for Blanchette. Great defense. It's hard to get those off there. Harris gets it over. Siller's just going to have to put it over. Gibbs with the good touch there. Blanchette gets up. Too much power. Every single time you see him go up like that, you know there's a great chance for points. He's able to get it over. Another kill for him. Just one of the best players the OCAA has to offer. Number 4 here for Humber, Andrew Blakely in his 4th year. A little bit of a miscue there for Redeemer. We saw a lot of that on the defensive side of the ball for them yesterday, unfortunately, as they're going to be giving up some easy points there. The Humber, as Humber now pulls out to a 9-7 lead in the 2nd set. Having a chance to go up 2 sets though. Here goes Blakely. Way too much on that. Some good heads up play there by Redeemer. 9-8 now, and we keep talking about the giving up those easy points. Unfortunately, both teams are kind of trading back and forth. BC Boy Stiller gets it over the net on a good serve. Nice deceptive play. Tolkap totally caught off guard by that number 14 on the Humber Hawks. A great play there. Adam Kishnot. Here he goes, Adam with another serve. Coming off a great play. Nice set there by Harris. Harris is going to get the spike through. Great defensive play there by Humber. Gibbs going up. Kind of throws him off with a nice little touch there. Here goes Harris. He's going to put some power on that, and he's going to get it off the deflection on Humber. Great play there by Redeemer, as they're now only 1 point away from tying this. It's always cool to see when those players are going to use a deceptive little spike and just touch it over the net, or if they're just going to go full power and just smash it through. Number 7, Mitchell Harris here to set us off. Nice little set play there. Clayton Blanchard coming through. Too much power for the Redeemer Royals. Pardon me, number 16, Clayton Blanchard, as we're used to seeing. We've seen this game. We've seen all year. Too much power from him.
And that's the one thing I was saying earlier is that the power behind him is just so incredible that it's so easy for the ball to just deflect off of the opponent.
Absolutely. Not only that, but he's so good at getting it so low that it's just impossible to set your teammates up for anything. We'll see if, oh, that's a great play there. Diving into the crowd. Great play. Unfortunately, he's not going to be able to get that there. Redeemer showing some great emotion here, trying to get involved. And we have a replay for you coming up here. As we're going to see, just tried to dive in there. He wasn't able to. Number 11 there for the Humber Hawks. Nicholas Quibbin, he was ready to pull a Shaquille O'Neal and just dive into the 7th row, trying to get that. Here we go, big serve coming here for Redeemer, trying to keep the momentum going in their direction. Gibbs, maybe not the set he wanted. Siller's just going to get it over that, and we're going to get a lift called, I believe. And we are. Humber's going to get a 12-10 lead here.
And this is a little bit of momentum that Humber really needs, is just to get, after 3 or 4 points, they get into a momentum, they get into the swing of things, and then this is how they try and take the lead.
Absolutely. Great defense there by Blanchard, but he's going to put it into the stands, unfortunately. A good play to even get a hand on that. Unfortunately, Redeemer's going to get another point here as we now have a 12-11 lead. We talk about the race to 20 being so vital. We're starting to get close there. Great heads-up play there by Gibbs. He took a second look at it. He knew his coach was standing right there. He wanted to make the proper play in front of him. Not only a great offensive player, but just an overall mentally tough player. Letting that ball drop out of bounds. Easy points there for Humber, as Redeemer's going to look to get it back. Rutledge just paints the line on that one. The diving player for Humber was unable to make the play on it. Rutledge, we haven't seen too much of him in the 2nd set. He was such a prevalent force in the 1st half. Sean Bruss is going to get us set up here, and we're starting to see, as you talked about, Riley, a little bit of momentum going the way of Redeemer, and just like that, it goes to nothing as they serve it out of bounds there, unfortunately. Michael Meitzen going to have the serve for Humber. We talk about the easy points being something you don't want to give up, and unfortunately that is probably why these teams are in the consolation game, is they do have so much talent on these teams, but just those little mental errors, unfortunately, that can do it for you. Here goes Harris with the great spike. Referee is calling no infraction on that. She's right there to make the proper call. Great play there for Redeemer. Referees reverse their call, actually. 15-12 now for Humber. A little bit of confusion there. I apologize for that. Harris gets it over. A nice set there by Gibbs. Oh, a great play there. Number 14 for the Humber Hawks, Adam Kishnock. He has had a lot of great offensive plays early in this second set as we now kind of get towards more of the middle. So now we're starting to see another little bit of the back and forth style of ball that we've been seeing, Ryla. We obviously like to kind of see that, as no team, we don't ever want to watch a blowout. We like to see these back and forth battles between the Humber Hawks and the Redeemer Royals. So Ryla, if you're the Redeemer coach, sitting in the huddle right now, talking to your team, what's something that you might want to get to them? Because you mentioned earlier, try to get your heads in the game. Seems that they've done that. What do you think else they need to do to get back in this one?
I think what they really need to do is, as I've mentioned before, Clayton Blanchette, amazing power behind everything that he's been doing. I think what they need to do is try and focus in on understanding how to control that power when the ball comes over to them, because I'm seeing a lot of deflect and misplays on their behalf after, he's sending the ball over to
Absolutely.
them. So I think as the coach, I would be saying, you know what, we need to focus in on who our strongest players are and try our hardest to take them out.
Absolutely. And you talk about that. And now Humber's asking how many timeouts they have, finding out that they have none. But you talk about trying to get your best players in the position, and if I was a coach, I'd be trying to stack the front of the net there. Blanchette likes to stay on that left side, more towards the middle at times as well. He's a player that enjoys that left side, so maybe get your bigger guys in front of the net and try and take away the possibility of the ball even going over. Great play there by Gibbs. We're going to see Blanchette put it over the net, and a great play there by Bruss. Stiller gets it just over. Blanchette gets it over. Kishnock can't get it over. Another play by Meitzen. Blanchett's just got to get it over, and he does. Some good rallying here. Tries to spike Gibbs there for the defensive play. Oh, great volley over there. And look at, what a play by Tokap. He gets an arm on it, but he is unable to set anything up there for his teammates. We've been talking about the power that Blanchette has, so the other team knows it because they're the one playing against it. So when he does a little deceptive touch there just over the net, it caught everybody off guard. Meitzen with the serve. Great defense there by Blakely for the Humber Hawks as they're starting to pull ahead a little bit in this one. Substitutions happening here. We'll have number 6 come in for the Redeemer Royals. Wes Shilstra.
We also had Jeff Ikanua, number 12, also substituting.
Play there by Meitzen. Just has to get it over the net there, a little bit close to the net. Rutledge putting the power on that, getting his team back in it a little bit. Here we are now 2 unanswered points, 17-14. Rutledge possesses a lot of the power that we see from Clayton Blanchette as well. Shilstra's going to put it over the net again. Unfortunately, he's not actually going to put it over the net. He's going to, unfortunately, serves it right into the net. Easy points for Humber, and we keep talking about those ever so vital points giving up. And that's another one for a Redeemer, and that's why you see Humber up now by 4, 18-14.
One thing about Joshua Pascal, as he's serving right now, is that he's actually from the Philippines. So, we're talking about some of the boys coming from BC and Alberta, but the Philippines is a much further trip.
Blanchette with a great diving play there, unable to get it over. Some more points coming for Redeemer. And you mentioned him where he's from. I want to talk about his height. He's actually 5'6", but he makes up in height with a lot of great athletic ability, being able to cover so much of the court so quickly, and he's such a great setup man for these Humber Hawks, one of the younger players on the squad. Here goes Blanchette. That power we're talking about puts too much on it this time as he puts it out of play, and now we're seeing Redeemer for the first time really string some points together as they find themselves only down by 2 now. There goes Siller. Gets a serve over. Blanchette getting set up. We talked about the deceptive touch he puts on, and he does it there. Ball going right back over. Great defense there by Blanchette. He's just too tall and too much of a force overall in this one. He's grabbing points left, right, and center. 19-16 now.
One thing I've said time and time again, having those tall players right up at the net is so beneficial to every single team.
Absolutely. Makes for some great defense. Let's see if those tall guys in front of the net, like you just talked about, Riley, can make a play, and they did. Let's see if they can get it back over. They did get a hand on it. A great diving play for Humber. Unfortunately, they're going to give the points to Redeemer. We saw some great effort there. They just weren't able to get enough on it. Wayne Wilkins is going to call a timeout now for the Humber Hawks. So 19-17 here for Humber. We've seen a lot of back and forth action. We've seen Humber pull away a little bit, but Redeemer continues to find ways to battle back in this one in the consolation game.
One thing, too, right now, as I was just kind of eavesdropping, is Adam Kinoshata. He just said that he just had a contact follow in that play, which is, I think, why Wayne Wilkins might have just called this time out here.
It's pretty hard to play the game when you can't see fully.
I would agree. Eyesight is definitely beneficial at this moment in time.
So we got Redeemer here in a little bit of a huddle. We talked about the veteran experience from Coach Brad Dowse, Coach of the Year on the west side of the OCAA, one of the driving forces of coaches throughout this great organization of college volleyball. Getting a shot there, Wayne Wilkins, his team looking intently on. He always knows what he wants to do. We talk about him and his brother pretty much running the program, the volleyball program at Humber. He's a man of few words at times, but sometimes that little look that he gives his teammates intimidates them, because I know myself just sitting here watching, I'm kind of intimidated, and I have no reason not to be. He's just one of those guys that just has that kind of stern look on his face as we get a set here from Harris. Great diving effort. We're going to get Gibbs with a nice hit over. Stiller with a nice setup. Rutledge able to get a hand on it. Nice setup there by Shishkov. Nice play. Harris puts it way up. Stiller's going to be able to put it. Can they get something off of it? They do. A little bit of confusion there. Coach Brad Dowse does not agree with it. Normally not a coach to question the referees a little bit too much, but he really disagreed with that call, as he realizes that the race for 20 has now been completed by Humber, maybe starting to fear the loss of another set, as he lost the first set 25-20. Blanchette with the serve, gets it over. He's had a little bit of troubles with those serves today, able to get it over. Rutledge, he hasn't had any problems. Oh, a great diving effort there for Humber, as we're going to get Gibbs, both him and Rutledge went up for it. Blanchette went up for it. A little bit of miscommunication. Blanchette really wanted it there, as Redeemer's going to grab some points off the miscommunication from Humber. 20-18 now. Zach Burke serving here for the Redeemer Royals. Puts it right into the net, and we continue to talk about the points. You shouldn't be giving up on the mental miscues, as Humber's going to grab more points off of that. It's 21-18, and when we keep talking about the great offensive abilities that Humber possesses with players like Blanchette and Gibbs, when you give up easy points like that, you're really just doing yourself a complete disservice, as Humber in themselves has no problems finding it. And we got number 10 serving here for Humber, Quentin Higgins, a first-year man. Great serve there, gets it over coming into the game. And he makes a great heads-up defensive play there. Doesn't go for the ball there. Grabbing some more points off of a spike that went right out of bounds. See if he can get another proper serve off. And he does. Redeemer makes a unfortunate miscue in defense. We've seen a lot of that happen from Redeemer. The timeout called right away. Coach Brad Dowse obviously not too fired up about that one. When you watch a ball just go for points, as a coach, that's got to be one of the most frustrating things. Your team doesn't even go to make a play on it.
That's one thing I was going to mention too, Lucas, is that, it does take a lot of practice to be able to call if the ball is going to be going out or not. And, it's you either go for it or you let a point slip through and go to the other team.
Yeah, there's nothing more frustrating for, as we mentioned, the coach, but also yourself as a player on the defensive side of the ball if you're unable to make a play on it and you kind of just watch it end up in your zone and it becomes points for the other team. And the unfortunate part about that one is that now pushes Humber 2 points closer to 25, which would give them the second set victory, as they were able to grab the first one. Now, Ryla, I don't like to count a team out, but I really do feel if Humber is able to grab this second set, trying to come back 3-2 for Redeemer. Maybe not as likely as a Redeemer fan would like to hope for.
I agree, and I mean, as I mentioned before, Redeemers really just need to be able to get into the right mindset, and I don't think that they've been able to have that today.
No, it's maybe not. It's the mindset, and it's just a lot of lack of communication that comes with mindset, as you've continued to mention. So we'll kind of see if the Redeemer Royals, maybe in another timeout, if this set ends, can get it together for these upcoming sets. Let's see if we can get some offense. Rutledge unable to get that, and that's Meitzen. He's getting up there, being one of the big boys. An absolutely great play there from Meitzen.
Oh, Redeemer looks like they're questioning the coach. Oh, no, they're going for a towel. My apologies.
Got a little bit of sweat on the court, as I like to prefer to call it instead of sweat, hard work.
Sweat, blood, and tears.
Absolutely, especially here at the OCAA Championships when there's a lot on the line. This is what you've worked for your whole season to get to this point and qualify for such a tournament. Let's see if the rookie can get it over on the serve, and he does. Gibbs isn't able to paint the line. He gets it just out. Not too happy with himself. He's not accustomed to seeing that happen. Getting some words of encouragement there from Blanchette. Rutledge, he's kind of struggled today with the serves. He's going to want to get this one over, and he does. Gibbs with a good touch. Nice setup there by Shishkov. Nice play there by Zaitsev. Couldn't get it over. And he does, actually. Pardon me, I apologize for that. 25-19 is your second set score. The Humber Hawks pull out 2-0 series lead in this one. Redeemer's going to have to find the way to battle back and somehow come back to win 3 games in this one. So we're going to take a little look here at some of the replays from what happened here in this second set. As you can see, we're going to get a look here at some of the work by Clayton Blanchette. And you talked about Riley not being able to make plays off the force of his spikes. And you're going to see a little bit of the own from Morgan Rutledge of the Redeemer Royals. Great play there. And you're going to see Rutledge again. Great defense, though, by Humber. Not able to get it over, though. And that's a good play there for Redeemer. Once again, Rutledge from that right side of the court, just finding points any way that he can. Here we go with Humber. Blakely, nice defense there by Harris. And as you can see, it's not like Redeemer hasn't been making the plays. They've been playing good volleyball for the most part, but the miscommunications and the lack of just the proper mindset into this one kind of seems to be plaguing them a bit. It's not like Redeemer doesn't have a great skilled team. We've seen a lot of great plays so far from them, and they have some of the better players overall in the OCAA, but they just haven't been able to pull it together here. And unfortunately for them, they find themselves down 2-0 as we are close to getting this third set underway.
One thing we might see now coming into this last set, Lucas, is maybe just some frustration that is also kind of blocking the mindset coming in from Redeemer. You know, after losing 2 sets, it's a little bit discouraging. So we're just going to have to see if they're able to push through it and pick up a win for this.
Yeah, we'll be able to see if they can respond well from this, and you would hope so. 7-year coach Brad Dowes probably gave them the words of encouragement that they needed and told him the game plan, as they do need to try and find the way back in here. As we're taking a look here at the Humber Hawks huddle, led by Coach Wayne Wilkins, probably just getting the same message: continue to play the game that you've been playing throughout. It's obviously working as they find themselves up here. The offense has been great. The defense has been diving all over. We've seen a lot of great digs come out of the Humber defense. And when you have those great digs being driven off of the floor up into the air, you're going to get guys like Gibbs and Blanchette just smashing it down for Humber. Look for them to continue a lot of that. Blakely has also had a great game. Meitzen, number 7, the 6-foot player, has also played great so far in this one. Humber takes the whole time to talk it over. They're kind of joking around here, being the last game and 1 set away from it. Hopefully they don't try to enjoy it a little bit too much, as they would love to just get out of here with a 3-0 win in the sets. We're getting underway. Players getting into position. We are getting set here for the third set. If you're going to be tuning in with us all day today, we have 2 more great games after this one at 2 o'clock and at 5 o'clock. At 2 o'clock, we have the Fanshawe Falcons taking on the Georgian Bruins. And then we have the championship game here in the David Braley Athletic Center. The OCAA Championships gold medal game will be between the Durham Lords and the host team The home crowd's going to be bumping in that one, the Mohawk Mountaineers. That being at 5 o'clock, you won't want to miss that for sure. But you won't want to miss the rest of this one as Tolcap gets a nice little set here. Great play there. And Redeemer's going to find some early points. Number 10 for Redeemer, absolutely loving that. That being Lyndon Boakes. I guess those BC boys really like to celebrate their great plays.
One thing a Redeemer really needs to do in this set is just pick up some early points. We're seeing a lot of great plays right now from Redeemer, lots of back and forth between the two teams, but Redeemer is going to pick up that point there. And serving once again for Redeemer is Rudin Middle.
As we get Gibbs with a big spike there. A great play by Tolcap as his defense turns to offense. Absolutely great play. And we talked about you got to come out and play your best volleyball here due to the fact you're now down 2-0. And they find themselves at one of the biggest leads they've had of this game, if not the 3 points. 3-0 early on. Let's see if Humber can get that offense going. And it's Blanchett who's going to be the man trying to get it going. A nice touch there by Rutledge. Linden is able to get it over. Nice touch there by Shishnikov. We got Blanchett unable to get it over. You know that they were focusing on the defense. Ryla talked about how you got to take away Clayton Blanchett, and we talked about maybe stacking the front of the net a little bit more, and you're starting to see there it works. Maybe we should tell the coach a little bit more. Probably not, though. I wouldn't necessarily recommend that. Meitzen is able. Is he? The referee's still trying to figure out if they're going to call it, and they are going to give that to Humber. Once again, Redeemer watching points just hit the floor. Tolcap kind of shaking his head there, maybe not so much happy with himself. As we're going to get star player Clayton Blanchett. Second year man. This is a lot of power in his spikes and his serves as he gets it over there. Nice setup there. Linden is able to get it. Blanchett gets it off. Shishkov gets it. Gibbs with just a nice little touch there. Redeemer's rallying pretty well. Great defense there. And we're going to get a lift on that one. Redeemer's going to find themselves up 5-1 now. Coming out very motivated as we've been talking about. Lyndon Boakes. BC boy getting it over the net there. Nice serve for them. A little bit of a miscue for Humber, but it still gets over. Redeemer is coming out and playing very, very motivated in this one as they're up now 6-1. Can't think too much into it. Lyndon's going to be our serving man here. Once again, if we have Lyndon's parents watching, must be a treat to be able to watch your son play such great volleyball at such a high level. Great defensive play once again by Lyndon continues. Nice little touch there by Sean Bruss. Redeemer working hard to get it. Blanchett, oh my God. Morgan Rutledge, not just an offensive stud, a defensive stud as well as Humber is finding themselves down very large in this one. Wayne Wilkins is beside himself as he shakes his head here. Lyndon Boakes is going to get another serve off here as Redeemer is up 7-1. Great defensive play here. Humber running around a little bit on the defensive side of the ball. Gibbs with the great spike. Sean Bruss gets it up. And we got Rutledge coming through with the offense. He's able to get it, a smile on his face. 8-1 now for Redeemer. Ryla, we talked about the mindset. Maybe we finally found it, or not we, Redeemer finally found it in themselves as they now find themselves up 8-1. You would think that they would have to find a way to close out this set.
Yeah, I mean, the motivation might just be pumping through their veins at this moment in time. And one thing, too, I'd like to mention, again, as I always do, is just the size of these guys. You know, having Morgan Rutledge up there staying at 6'2", followed by Zach Burke at 6'5". You know, it's beneficial to have that height, being able to, I mean, when they jump, they're over the net clear as day, and they're blocking so many balls, which is definitely helping Redeemer pick up some points here.
We're getting ready to get coming out of the timeout here. Humber obviously going to be hearing a little bit from their coaches. They are now down a little bit in this one, unfortunately. 8-1 Redeemer finding that lead they need in order to stay alive in this one. We're going to get the 4th straight serve as they've just been able to find all these points. Here goes Linden. Gets it up and over. Clayton Blanchard with a great play. He's able to get it over, but it's going to turn into some Humber points there. Humber finally able to snap that streak. We're going to have number 17 for the Humber Hawks. Colin Skanes, 6'7" from Etobicoke, Ontario, first year. Proper serve over the net there, gets it on over, be able to create some offense for Redeemer, and they are able to. Morgan Rutledge just smashing that through, kind of showing Clayton Blanchard that he's got it too, as Blanchard tried to make the play on it. Unfortunately wasn't able to, and now 9-2 lead. Looks like Redeemer might touch 10 points before Redeemer can even get 5. Pardon me, Humber. Good defense coming from number 4, Brady DeBoer. The second-year man, absolutely great defensive play there. As now Redeemer has a 10-2 lead on Humber. This third set really is changing the pace of this game. And there's kind of what we saw those first 2 sets, unfortunately, for Redeemer, as they just serve it out of bounds and give up those easy points. Let's see if Humber now, with the serve from Alex Gibbs, can turn this into maybe a little bit of a run and try and grab some points here. 10-3 lead for Redeemer. Nice play by Sean Bruss. Linden unable to get it over. A great play by Blakely. Now Humber has 2 unanswered points and maybe trying to grab a little bit of the momentum off Redeemer and create some points for themselves. Gibbs with the serve. A nice serve there right in the middle of the court. In comes Bruss. A little bit unsuspecting from him as he smashes that through. Not so much known for plays like that, but he is able to grab the points for Redeemer. Absolutely amazing play there for him. Rutledge with the serve. Getting it on up there. Gibbs puts a little bit too much on it. Humber kind of faltering here in this set. 12-4 now for Redeemer. And they're starting to take a little page out of Redeemer's book and just hurting themselves. We're going to have another set from Rutledge. If you'll notice there, he doesn't have matching shoes. It's pretty cool. A little bit of his own type of swag. Meitzen gets it over, changes the side of the court. Gibbs just gets it over as they're on their 3rd touch. Linden is able to smash it through there. Pardon me, Brady DeBoer, absolutely great offensive play there for Redeemer as they continue to just dominate this set like we haven't seen in the last at all in the OCAA championships, as this is the biggest lead we have seen so far. And there it is, Rutledge kind of not too happy with himself there.
No, you can definitely see the frustration across his face. No. That's one thing about these players is they wear their heart on their sleeve. When they're upset, you can tell.
Some Meitzen now with the serve. Nice play there by Bruss. Bruss is going to try another absolutely outstanding deceptive little play there. That's the 3rd. And they are giving the points to Redeemer. The referee had to think about that one for a moment. Humber is going to challenge the call of that, of course. He went up like he was going to smash it home like he did the last time he had the points there for Sean Bruss, but he just gave it the little how you doing touch. How you doing touch worked. Let's see if he can get a good serve off. Right to Gibbs. Gibbs is able to get it off. Clayton Blanchett is not blocked. Trying to play some defense out in front there. Shizkov gets it over. Blanch, nice play there. Right in front of us here. And we are getting an infraction on the Redeemer Royals. Unfortunately, Humber's going to grab some points off of that there. 14-6 now here in the 3rd set. Let's see if Blakely can get it over. Good serve for him. Nice touch there. Coming up's Linden. Great play by Rutledge. Puts it back a little bit. Tolka gets it. Nice touch over. Let's see what Humber's got for the offensive side of the ball. You know who it's going to. Blanchett couldn't get everything he wanted. Maybe not the serve he was looking for. Linden, he's trying his own offense, and he's not able to get it over as they now finally cut the lead into half, 14-7. Humber definitely not out of this set. As you've seen, the points have been kind of easy to come by in this one. So we'll see if they can continue to keep it up. Blakely with no jump or anything, just sets it on over. Redeemer looking to continue their great offensive ways. Just tapping that over the net. Great play here for Redeemer as they rally towards it. Rutledge able to get it. He's going to get the deflection off Shishnikov and is able to grab points. Rutledge has been all over the offensive side of the ball. for the Redeemer Royals. He's got that hard spike coming on the right side of the court. As we talked about the velocity, too much on it, and he's able to just get that more towards the ground, just over the net there. Ready to the bore. Surprisingly, Blanchett is blocked. That's got a sting. He's going for it again. Great play there by Gibbs to save it. And they are unable to save it as a whole. Very uncharacteristic to see Blanchett be blocked twice so quickly. Kind of looking up at the sky, I really can't even believe it. Redeemer now with a serve 16-7. We're gonna have 16-8 now. Kind of what we saw in those first two sets, a little bit of an unfortunate miscue in their overall plans.
I mean, as we said before, we can't count Redeemer out quite yet, and they're showing us right now, you know, why they are here.
Absolutely great diving play there for Humber. Gibbs also gets in on the diving party. Tolkien gets it over. Big spike there from number 13 on Redeemer. Zach Burke, 6'5" from North Bay, Ontario in his fourth year. Being a fourth-year player, having a lot of experience on this team, being with your teammates for so long, you know that this means a lot to him. Ruben Middle gets it over there on the serve for Redeemer, and then makes a great defensive play on that side of the ball. Rutledge unable to get it past. Gibbs diving under the net. Some points there for Humber. Rutledge kind of just put his whole body on the line there. As we are now at a 17-9 score, Blanchett will get set to serve here for Humber. Not able to get it over the net. He thought about it maybe a little bit too long there. Unfortunately for his Humber team, he's going to give up some points. He's had so many for his squad, and he just couldn't get it there. Number 10 for Redeemer will serve. Lyndon Buntice, 18-9 lead now for Redeemer. Looking to try and wrap this set up quickly. Gets the serve over. Humber comes up, and a great play there by Meitzen. They're unable to make the play on the Redeemer defensive side of the ball. Number 2, Ruben Middle diving for it. The 5'8" player out of Lethbridge, Ontario, second-year man for the Redeemer Royals. So we're gonna get number 3 serving here for the Humber Hawks. Kobe John. Rutledge with an absolutely powerful spike that Blanchett and Blakely are unable to make plays on. Pardon me, that was Blakely and Meitzen unable to make the play on that. And we're going to have some more points for Redeemer. 19-10 now as this third set is getting close to that 25-point score, which will end it. Gibbs with a nice touch there. Gibbs going to come back and get one off the shoulder. A little bit unorthodox there, but do what you got to do. Gibbs setting up his teammates there. Gibbs is going to power it down. They got it over. Rutledge just hits it on over. Great defensive play there by Redeemer just to get a hand on it, but they're not going to be able to get enough, unfortunately, as it is now some Humber points, 19-11. We're going to get Alex Gibbs with this serve, talking to the ball a little bit there, being like, hey, I got them Powerpuff socks on. Get this ball over. Be good to me, and it is. Rutledge.
You know, everyone has their lucky charm, and I guess the Powerpuff socks are his.
Meitzen almost came and sat in my lap here. Definitely not Santa Claus, so I'm not looking for that today. Unfortunately for him, he wasn't able to get the ball over, and it is now 20-11. As I cracked you up there a little bit, Ryla, with the Santa Claus.
That was pretty funny.
Rutledge with the serve. It's always good to try and lighten the mood up in such intense games. Gibbs gets it over. Let's see if Rutledge can get it back. He sets it up in the middle for his teammates. DeBoer not able to get it over. Some defense there from Humber. And now, you know what? They're starting to sneak in a little bit. They're down 8. It's going to take a lot to come back into this one, but they're going to need to continue to try and swing some points together. Meitzen with the serve. Gets it on over. Nice play there by DeBoer. A diving play, great play there. Gibbs is going to set up for his patent big spike, but the patent big spike will not find the court, and it will land out of bounds. 21-12 now. Gibbs, one of those animated players who shows his emotion. As Riley said, a lot of these players wear their hearts on their sleeves. He's definitely one of them, and it shows when he doesn't make a play that he necessarily doesn't like. Sean Bruss, 6'2", out of London, Ontario, 4th year, with the serve. Miscue on the Humber side. We've seen a little bit more of that on the Redeemer side. Wayne Wilkins putting his clipboard down in frustration. Probably going to give it to his team a little bit here. Down 22-12. As you can see, we got our cameras on there, Coach. Now we're moving over to the Redeemer side. Brad Dells is probably going to be like, look, boys, 3 points. Just do everything we can to get out of this set. We're going to have to play the next one like we did this one, and we should be okay. But that being said, this set is far from over.
One thing I just want to talk about, between these two teams is just the difference of, Clayton Blanchette, 322 kills. That's their highest. And then we come over to the Redeemer side, and Morgan Rutledge, as we've been seeing a lot of tonight, 146 kills. And so, just seeing the difference between the two teams and what their ability are is, there are star players all over the map here today, but the difference between the teams and the power behind them, it is definitely something, and we can see that coming out of the game today.
Absolutely. Just throw some fun facts at you. Pearson Stiller was part of the all-rookie team here for the OCAA league as a whole. One of the BC boys, as we mentioned a couple times now. Coach Brad Does was a West Division Coach of the Year. Redeemer didn't find too many guys on the All-Star team. Rutledge found himself on the second-team All-Star team, which is a great accomplishment in itself. And we're going to get back on their way. So now Humber finds itself getting back on the board here. Andrew Blakely getting ready to set us off here. Gets the serve on over. Poking it with a nice play. Great little touch there by DeBoer. Blakely sets it back up. There it is, a nice little over. Here we go. Calling for a set play. Redeemer's able to get it over. Now 2 points away from wrapping up set number 3 here from the David Braley Athletic Center. OCAA Championships presented by Bel Air Direct Insurance. Always got to get the sponsorships in there. We thank them for their support in this. Couldn't do it without you, Bel Air. Thank you so much for the sponsorship. There's the bore. A nice diving play there from Sean Bruss, 4th-year veteran. Humber's looking to set up, and they're going to get it over to Shishnov. Can't get it over. Here we go. Setting up. Morgan Rutledge with the power we continue to talk about. Just smashing it right at Humber's defense. Straight in their faces. They're unable to make anything off of that. They are now 1 point away from wrapping this up. The Redeemer fans starting to stand, clapping their hands as we have DeBoer set the serve. Pressure on, buddy. Gets it on over. Great touch. Humber's going to put it right back over. DeBoer is going to set it up for his team. And we got a great little touch. And that is not going to go the Redeemer way. It is going to go for Humber, unfortunately, as Humber finds themselves back on the board and prolongs the Redeemer set win.
You can see the disappointment on the players of Redeemer. They so thought that was going to be the set point.
They just want to get out of here. They want to get out of this set and try and get over. And we just talked about how they weren't able to. Ruben Middle out of Lethbridge, Ontario, the second-year man, is able to push the Redeemer Royals into the 4th set of this one, continuing this game, not allowing the sweep to happen, as we now have a 2-1 Humber lead. We'll see if Humber can kind of get it back together and get back into the game that they had going on. They're going to need to lean on veterans Alex Gibbs and Clayton Brinshaw to get back into this one. Getting late into this one now. This is the 3rd day of the tournament. These guys have played 3 games now in 3 days. Fatigue may be setting in a little bit, so we'll see if this continues on to be maybe a possible factor. Let's get into some highlights now, as of course we got to look at the best plays so far this set, and you're going to see some of that great defense from the board on the Redeemer side. Absolutely amazing play there. Now let's look at their offense. Who else would it be other than Rutledge with a great play? And look there, a little miscommunication there from Humber. Redeemer's able to get it back over, showing the frustration there by Humber. Let's take a little more look at that offense. Just smashing it over, unfortunately. No defender there for Humber. Humber showing a little bit of their offensive muscles that we saw more so in the the first 2 sets, pardon me. And you can see on the sidelines, they don't look like they're panicking too much on the Humber side. Taking a look here at the Redeemer side. Players look pretty calm. They realize that 1 set away from tying this up. And when you tie it up, Riley, it's kind of like putting the game back to 0-0 when it's just the first of 25 wins. I would love to see that, as this has been a great game to watch and to commentate. I'm sure all the viewers at home have enjoyed watching this. All the parents tuning in to watch their sons play who are unable to make the trip here to Mohawk College. It's a great experience for these kids to be able to play in such a great tournament. Mohawk has been great. The referees have been great. This has just been an overall amazing tournament, as the OCAA championships, men's volleyball, always are.
Absolutely. And, you know, at the end of the day, you win, you lose. I mean, I think a lot of them are, you know, the competitive side does come out, but they're here to have fun, you know. They're here to have this experience and just be thankful to have made it to come play. Absolutely.
And although you talked about the competitive side, and it's kind of what you more so see, it's always nice for these players to kind of be able to soak in the experience. A lot of these teams aren't from Hamilton, Ontario, so they get to stay in a hotel together. They're obviously on the road a lot together. It's great bonding times for these teams. I know myself playing sports way back in the day, back when I used to be a little bit of an all-star, at least I thought I was. I always enjoyed the hotel trips and being able to go around and enjoy new cities and experiences with my teammates. So events like this are always really fun and character building for these teams. These are the kind of tournaments you remember for the rest of your life. Win or lose, it's just an experience in itself.
One thing with any club, you know, you have your teammates or your co-stars or whatever they are, and you know, you build a relationship, you build a family with them. I mean, you know, especially for these players coming all the way from Alberta and BC, you know, their families are back at home, but they have their own family here with their teammates.
Absolutely. You kind of talk about the family atmosphere that a lot of this traveling can bring. Just for an example, on the Mohawk side of this, Thomas Barr, actually one of a player from Scotland on the Mohawk team, had had Christmas with the Tonin family. Just goes to show that volleyball creates a great family experience as Humber gets back on the board, able to start this set off the way they wanted to. 23-year veteran coach Wayne Wilkins definitely gave it to his team a little bit there. Look for them to come out much more motivated and play a much cleaner set here in the 4th. And we continue to see some great defense, but some good offense here from Redeemer. Great mental toughness there from Humber to not want to touch that ball as they find themselves up 2-0. Redeemer kind of slipping away a little bit here. Going to want to try and find some points quickly, as they don't want to let Humber do what they were able to do. And they have the mental toughness not to touch the ball on their side of things, as they are letting that ball go out. For some points for them. Number 10 for Redeemer serving. That being Lyndon Bunks, 6'7", first-year man from Alberta. Great play once again. We just can't seem to get a serve into play. We've seen a lot of that become a problem throughout this tournament, unfortunately, for a lot of these teams. The simplest things sometimes can be the hardest things. When you have a whole gym staring at you, quiets down a little bit. Some people like to make noise and try and throw you off as you serve it. It can be one of the harder plays. That should be one of the more simple plays. That's one of the harder plays that is made to look simple from the Redeemer offense by number 13, none other than Zach Burke, the 4-year man. Here we go again. We talk about the silence you hear on these serves. And his serve is going to turn into points here. Unfortunately for Humber, unable to get a set off there. Wayne Wilkins very unhappy with that as they battle back to tie it. Let's see if Redeemer can keep the tide going. Another serve here coming from number 13, Zach Burke. Zach Burke unable to get it in after a great serve on the first one. He just puts it out of bounds. We're going to have Clayton Blanchette serving for Humber. Let's see if he can become more of a force in this 4th set, as he was a little bit forgotten about in the first one. So here we are. Boom! Right there for Brady DeBoer. Absolutely amazing play there. The 6'3" man smashing it through. We have to take a look at that on the replay, and we are going to see just puts it right up. And here we go, Riley. That power you talk about and the downward motion I like to talk about, just smashing that through. Here goes Gibbs. Gibbs gets it up over to the Redeemer side. Let's see if we can get some defense. Clayton's all over that to set it up for his teammates. He's going to come through and smash it down. Nice play there by Rutledge, just trying to get it over. Shishkov gets it. Here goes Gibbs with the big power puff girl smash, and he gets it. Gibbs putting it through there, showing the excitement on his face. Riley talked about these players wearing the hearts on the sleeves. The emotions really do pour out from time to time. So we are going to get the serve here from number 17, Colin Scans. He's had a great serving day so far. I would give him a big tip. Nice play there. Redeemer gets it, and Brady DeBoer smashes it down again, letting everybody know he's excited about that. Another great smashing play, almost similar to the one we just saw moments ago. The Redeemer offense starting to find itself. Sean Bruss, number 5 here. Nice play there by Maitsev. Here goes Gibbs. And he is unable to toe the line. We've seen that a little bit from him today, the frustration showing for him. Redeemer obviously enjoying that as Sean's going to get another chance to set this off here. Big moment. He is so automatic with these, it seems, though. Nice play by Maitsev. Oh, it's going to be a big one by Blakely, and it's going to be out of bounds. It just seems Humber's just putting a little bit too much frustration starting the show on the offensive side of the ball. Sean Bruss is going to get his 3rd attempt at a serve. We talked about how automatic he's been, but Humber's just maybe hitting that ball a little bit too hard. Maitsev gets it. Let's see if they can get it here. Blanchett, and he finds the perfect amount, but great defense there by Tobin. A nice play. They're going to put it out now, kind of taking away from what Humber was doing there. Alex Gibbs, much talked about throughout this one, getting the serve here. He's going to get it over. A nice little touch there. Redeemer can't get it over. Nice play by Blakely on the defensive side of the ball. Rutledge puts it up for his teammates. They got to get it over the net. We're going to get a setup. We're going to get an Alex Gibbs smash. And an Alex Gibbs smash is going to turn into some Alex Gibbs points. 7-7 tie game here in the 4th set.
I mean, Alex Gibbs going in, 206 kills, 103 digs. He is just one of their star players. All
over the floor. As mentioned, Brady DeBoer, he's kind of like Gibbs. As we talk about one of the more standout players for his team, he's just been smashing the ball down early in this one. Unfortunately, made too much contact with the net there, couldn't get some points. We're gonna get a Redeemer set up, and we are gonna get some Redeemer points. As we are now getting back to what we were accustomed to seeing, this back and forth, tick for tack type style of play. Let's see if DeBoer can do what he's been doing on the offense side of the ball and serving, and he does. We're going to get Clayton coming up on that one, and Clayton continues to put a little bit too much mustard on it. You might want to take a little bit off of that, and he'll bounce back from that, being a star player that he is. Here we go. Brady DeBoer. 6'3" man gets it over. Here we go. Maitsev couldn't get it over. A little bit of a miscommunication. Here comes Gibbs with this smash. Almost a double touch there for Redeemer, but they don't. Redeemer sets back up. A nice play. Ball right up here. Here comes Gibbs with another smash. And they are calling that on Redeemer for the infraction, giving the points to Humber and tying this game up 9-9. Here in the 4th set, looking to push it to a 5th set is Redeemer. Humber would win. Just to wrap up the first couple sets for the fans just tuning in, the first set was 25-20 for Humber, and then they took another one 25-19. And as we saw just moments ago, Redeemer, like we did just seeing right there, they found a way to win that 3rd set 25-14, and they are, with plays like that, could find themselves winning this 4th set that has been so closely contested. Mitchell Harris with the serve. Pardon me, Ruben middle. Gibbs with a nice touch there. Blanchett getting up. Can't get it over. Great defense. Redeemer's loving that. And there we go. Some big points there for Redeemer. 11-9 now. Just had that ball come back at me. I'm going to have a word with Gibbs after the game about that one. We got Ruben middle. Been perfect on his serve game so far. His 2nd year man. Here it goes. Blakely getting in on the spike party. Rutledge takes a little bit off. Gibbs with the diving dig. Great play for him. Rutledge once again, Clayton just gets it over. Rutledge now with the spike. Great play by Maitsev. We are getting some Redeemer points here. 12-9 as they're finding a way here in the 4th set to be able to pull ahead a little bit, trying for that ever so important 5th set. Ruben Middle gonna go for the 4th one in a row. The crowd picking up a little bit, the intensity in this one. Get going, here goes Clayton, and he gets his mojo going back a little bit there with the big powerful spike. The leader in the OCAA kills, and he finds his way to get back on the scoreboard. He also led in points. As we've continued to talk about him, just one of the better players here in the OCAA. An absolutely heads-up play there for number 13, Zach Burke, 6'5", out of North Bay, Ontario. We mentioned he's a 4th-year man, so he's got some experience and some leadership on this Redeemer team, as we're going to get the serve here from number 7, Mitchell Harris. Noise being made to try and throw him off. Here comes Clayton. Nice little touch. Nice play there by Gibbs to keep it going. Blanchette going to maybe try and get another one. Blanchette going to be up there for the defense. Unfortunately, we got a diving Meitzen, and he's not going to be able to get it, putting his body on the line. But much to the crowd of Redeemer's happiness, he is unable to make it over to that ball in time. And now we have some more Redeemer points, 14-10. So we're getting the towel out. Meitzen obviously sweating a little bit here as he's been all over the court working hard. We've got to clean that up. We don't want anybody slipping. Making sure he does a good job there. Taking a look here at Redeemer. They're setting up for the serve here. Crowd in the middle of the net. You'll probably see them spread out a little bit more. Maybe put some primary focus to Blanchette, as Gibbs is on the same side as him, so you've got to figure that the offense is going to come from the left middle side of the ball for Humber. But as long as Mitchell Harris gets it over, all this will happen, and they do put it towards their side. You see the defense. Oh, they do change it over to the right side. A good play there for Redeemer. Continuing to move the ball over. Rutledge gets it on over. The ball just crossed. That's a perfect touch by him.
And it looks like Humber Hawks just called a timeout after that play. So one person I'd like to highlight on the Humber Hawks is, I mean, obviously we've said them time and time again, Clayton Blanchette and Alex Gibbs. They're the leading scorer points for, you know, their team, and they are constantly bringing things up. But we have a little bit of a replay that we're gonna watch. So here we see Redeemer, you know, getting the point up, but there's Clayton Blanchette, as I mentioned, just standing right at the front of the net, able to get that block, and here he is again with a big hit. And there's Gibbs, and back to Clayton Blanchette. I mean, the two of them are such a power team together.
Absolutely, they're a dynamic duo of this Humber Hawks team. Much relied on to create a lot of offense for this team, and they do have the height, especially Clayton, coming in at the height of, for Clayton Blanchette, we got him listed in here at 6'5", from St. Catharines, Ontario, in his 2nd year.
And Alex Gibb at 6'4" from Calgary, Alberta.
Mitchell Harris with the serve, getting us back on their way coming out of the timeout. Blanchette with a big hit.
Coming right over into my feet.
Coming right back over towards us. He wants us to get involved, but unfortunately he's not going to get involved in the points category, as he finds himself giving up some points there to Redeemer. 16-10 now. Mitchell Harris coming up with his 3rd serve in a row. It's been great so far. Gibbs with a nice defensive effort. We got Blanchette running over Gibbs. We're talking about the great plays he's been making, and they couldn't get the ball over. We're starting to see Humber kind of falter a little bit now. We got Redeemer up 17-10, and it's looking like a comeback could become all the more relevant if they are able to find a way to win this set. Mitchell Harris once again going to have to serve. It's been perfect so far. We will see if he can continue this. And of course he does. Redeemer now 18-10 coming out of the timeout. The words that Coach Wayne Wilkins gave the Humber Hawks obviously maybe didn't get through to them as much as he would like. And he's finding his team almost down 10 now, 18-10.
Like I
Gibbs
said,
will step out for a second. Sorry, Riley, go ahead.
No worries. I was just going to say, like I said at the beginning of the game, you know, I'm not going to be surprised if this goes into a 5-set game.
Absolutely, you did predict that. Got to give Riley credit once in a while.
Thanks, Lucas.
Here we go. Blakely with a nice set. Here goes Clayton Blanchette with a nice hit. Better defense on the other side of the Humber ball. Blanchette going to try again. Just gets it on over. He looks up at the sky, kind of like, thank you for that. 18-11 now. He's finally find the offensive stride that he's accustomed to having. So we're going to get the serve from number 14, Adam Kishnikut. Kishnakita. Tough name to pronounce. I
There
apologize for that.
are a
And look
couple
at the play there from Zach Burke, the 4-year man, making those veteran plays that we keep talking about, and he continues to prove our points all the more. An awesome touch by him there. 19-11 now for Redeemer. We're looking like we might have a comeback. Really starting to mount now as the race to 20 is almost complete for them. Blanchette, he starts the play off, and he is going to unfortunately end it, but it's going to end in points for Redeemer. Not looking like himself here. 20-11 now. So here we go. As was mentioned, the veteran man, Zach Burke, looking to serve here. That high serve. Trying to throw off Humber a little bit here. Up comes Humber. The defense from Rutledge and DeBoer is just too much. Unfortunately for themselves, they couldn't get it over. And it's going to be Humber who actually does grab the points off of that. Pardon me. As we talked about, Riley, the ball moves so quickly that unfortunately I myself have a hard time keeping up sometimes. And it's plays like that that we talk about why it's hard to kind of keep up with it, because we just have some spikes going like that. We're going to have Brady DeBoer's replay on that. We have to show that again. Let's take a look at it as he just comes up. Watch the power from this. Bang! Just smashing it through. An absolutely amazing play there.
Now coming up for a serve is Morgan Rudlett. One thing about him I'd like to point out is 146 kills and 62 gigs. He's for Redeemer, one of their star players. But you see there that the Hawks were able to pick up that point. And I mean, you know, 21-13, I've seen bigger comebacks. So, I mean, who knows? Maybe the Humber Hawks are going to be able to get into the right mindset and bring this game back.
Wouldn't be surprised. Would not be surprised at all, Riley. You've been pretty good at predicting some things so far in this one. Look at the gaps they find on the Humber defense. Very not accustomed to seeing that. We are from such a good, stout defense that Humber possesses. Coach Wayne Wilkins definitely not happy with that, as we are now 3 points away from a Humber set lead. And we talked about how Wayne Wilkins might not be all too happy with his squad as he calls the timeout here. He's definitely going to be laying into the guys a little bit here, as it now might be inevitable that we are going to go to the 5th set. So we saw Redeemer go down 2 and Humber grab the first 2, and now we're going to see Redeemer, it looks like, grab these 2, and we're going to look like we might have to go through that 5th set.
One thing I find interesting about the 5th set is that, you know, for me, I learned this the other day, that for the 5th set, it only goes to, what, 15 points?
15 points it does, Ryla.
Yeah, and so, I mean, you know, if it does go to the 5th set, it is such a critical thing for the teams to just get into the right mindset, get the right moves, work as a well-oiled team to pick up those 15 points, because that's a quick match.
Exactly. It's a quick match, and it just leaves a whole lot less room for error, as we talk about 10 less points than we normally see in the first 4 sets, which goes up to 25. The 15 is created so that we've been talking about you got to play your best volleyball of the game near the end. And those 15 points are easy to grab, so you got to be precise with it, as that serve barely gets over the net. Blakely is going to be able to spike it, but Redeemer gets some nice play off of that. Here we go, starting the setup. We got, it's going to be Meitzen that tries to get it over. Some more great defense from Humber. Getting out of the way, Meitzen is just going to tap it over the net there. Nice little touch. Now Redeemer touches it just over the net. We got some good rallying going on here. Meitzen is going to smash it through, and Humber finally getting back on the right side of the ball and the right side of the scoreboard as they put up their 14th point of the 4th set here.
Whatever Wayne was telling them in that last timeout, I mean, maybe it's paying off now.
It looks like. Fortunately for them, though, they are 3 points away from giving up this set. It's going to take a lot to grab this one. We'll see if they can continue it. Diving defense is going to be what they need to do. Some great digs coming there. Nice play there by Meitzen to get it from an awkward angle. Play some good D. Almost gets a double touch on it, but a nice play. Some good rallying there. Shishnoff gets it. An awesome play there for Adam, number 14. Here we go, number 12, serving for Humber. That being Mark Harris, 6'3", out of Chilliwack, BC. Another BC boy in this one. Humber, here we are, starting to get the comeback going a little bit. Now we're starting to kind of see a smile come from the coach, Dwayne Wilkins. 22-16, 6 points down for Humber. They're going to need to continue this little trend they got going on and getting some points. Sean Bruss with the nice touch, and they are going to grab another point. They are very focused on this Humber side of the ball. Number 12 for the Humber Hawks there. Mark Harrison showing some great emotion, hopping into the game and playing some great ball. The score is now 22-17. We got a timeout called on the Redeemer side of the ball. You can probably see Coach Brad Dowes sensing that his team's faltering a little bit, getting into those first couple set problems that they did have. So we're going to see coming out of this timeout if Redeemer can kind of get back to what we were seeing those first 2 sets.
I mean, he's been working alongside with Redeemer as their coach for 7 years now. And so, I mean, having Travis Dyke there for 5 and a couple of the players there for 4 years, and then, some of their rookie members. I mean, he's built these relationships with these boys that is able to continue to get them to maybe pick up a win. And that's what we're going to maybe see here tonight going into a fifth set.
Exactly.
Yeah. But I mean, I've said it before, I've seen bigger comebacks, and Humber looks ready.
Humber looks very focused and ready to kind of try and take this lead back. Number 12, Mark Harrison. I hope our cameras caught the emotion that he was displaying there, screaming out his teammates, "Let's go," sounding like Tom Brady running out of that tunnel. For all you NFL fans watching. Nice touch there. Oh, and a nice play by DeBoer as he keeps it alive. Let's see if Humber can get something going. And it's going to be Blakely getting it, but a nice touch there by Rutledge to keep the ball alive. Harrison with a nice touch there. And we're going to have Zeitzen. Oh, and he makes a nice play on his own ball. Humber gets to the 3 hits. Their point streak is snapped, and now we see a 2 points for Redeemer away from winning this 4th set. 23-17. Here we go to Boer. Gets it on over. Looked like it might touch the net there. Adam gets it over for Humber. Number 14, Adam gets it there. Awesome play for him, 23-18. They are finding a way to battle back. I am going to call number 14 by his first name. Great job, Adam.
Some of these names are so difficult to pronounce.
The last name's a little bit of a tongue twister. I apologize for that. So we'll see. He's been making great plays all over the floor. That actually did just find the corner of the court for Humber. They were unable to get it. Match point. The Redeemer fans now rising up as the set coming here from number 2. We got Ruben Middle looking then this one. Humber one mistake away from losing this set, and the one mistake happens right in front of us as I'm mid-sentence talking about it. We are going to the ever so important 5th set. A 15-point 5th set will determine the winner of this consolation game here at the David Braley Athletic Center in Mohawk College. The OCAA general replay coming through here. We're going to look at some of the best plays of that 4th set. Let's get into it. We're going to obviously see a lot of great Redeemer plays, and there is one right there from Harrison. Great touch by him. Zach Burke. There it is, a nice little set, and a little deceptive play there for Blakely, just smashing it through there. Redeemer bringing the ball over. Clayton Bunchek gets it over, and Redeemer just gets that set right over the net. Off some great offense there from Clayton. And there you can see he just touched the corner there. An absolutely great play. Now we're taking a look here at the Redeemer huddle. As Coach Brad does, he's like, look, boys, we battled back. Let's get this 3rd one in our belts. Get out of here with a W. It looked like we weren't going to be able to do such a thing after those first 2 going down 2-0. But like we said, no game is over until the final whistle, until the final set is won, and we are in for a treat here in the 5th set.
We were talking, going into the 3rd set that we thought for sure, Humber was going to be picking up the win based off of winning the first 2 sets. And as you mentioned, you don't want to count any team out, and Redeemer has showed us exactly why that is so true. They have made such an amazing comeback, and maybe they'll be able to continue to do that coming into the 5th set, or maybe we'll see Humber be able to turn the game around and put it back onto their side like they did in the first 2 sets. One thing I know is after playing a game for now almost just over an hour and a half, is that they're probably exhausted. And after having 3 days of this, I mean, so the first, 2 sets for Humber, they put in all they had. And maybe Redeemer was just waiting to give their all coming into the third set, and this was their strategy all along.
Very much could be that. I don't know if that was necessarily maybe the strategy trying to get late into the game, but you know what? A lot of teams, unfortunately, when you get up with a big lead, like we see in volleyball, like we see and we see in across sports, when you get those big leads, sometimes they will unfortunately kind of slip away from you because you take the foot off the gas pedal and you start to slow down a little bit there. So we'll see if Humber can pick it back up. Clayton Blanchette giving his teammates some words of advice here. We're looking at the Redeemer side of the ball now, the Humber side of the ball here as we're getting set up. The players obviously getting to a point now where this tournament is coming to a close for them. 15 points away from one team for being determined the consolation winner of this, a title in itself. They won't receive a medal for this game, unfortunately, but this is something to build from as they will be finishing 4th in the tournament. The winner of this game, the losing team, will finish 5th. Obviously, finishing in the top 5 is something that you strive for. Obviously, you want to be that #1 seed, but if you can't be, finishing in the top 5 in such a highly touted tournament is not something to be upset about. So either way this goes, both the Redeemer Royals and the Humber Hawks should be very proud.
Absolutely.
I'd also like to thank everybody for tuning in here on MLink on YouTube. It means a lot to us to have support from the outside community. We enjoy putting these on for you, and we are going to get set underway here in the 5th set. We mentioned there's only 15 points to be had here, and Humber has #1, 14 away from wrapping this up and stopping this amazing miracle comeback we are starting to see from Redeemer. Let's see if Adam can get it over. Nice serve, Adam. Here we go. Redeemer can't get it over, and the miscue start once again. Unfortunately, the wrong point for Redeemer, as it is now a 2-0 lead. Humber looking to lock in. We're going to get another serve here, of course, from Adam, as Humber was able to find some points. He's unable to get the touch on it, Tolbert. We're going to get it over. Zach Burke gets it on over there. Going way, way up. Clayton Blanchette puts so much power on that ball that the defensive player for Redeemer, #11, Morgan Rutledge, tried to get a little hand on it, but the ball almost touched the ceiling and ended up in the 4th row. They were unable to make a defensive play off of that. A 3-0 lead now for the Humber Hawks. Redeemer going to try and get back into it. What better way to do that than with a Morgan Rutledge spike? And unfortunately for Sir Morgan Rutledge, or fortunately for Rutledge, it does toe the line. The referee does call it in. My initial look at that wasn't right, of course. 3-1 now for Humber. Redeemer cracks the goose egg here in the 5th set.
You can hear the Royals fans, they're so excited. They're, when they first watched, they thought, oh, Humber's going to take the win, but now they're thinking, no, we know our boys, and they're gonna get this one.
They got some battle in them, that's for sure. 3-2. Humber wouldn't touch the ball there, and unfortunately for Redeemer, they served the ball into the net there. A very uncharacteristic play there from Mitchell Harris, the 3rd-year man. And now we get the other star player for the Humber Hawks, Mr. Clayton Blanchette. Here, Blanchette gets it on over. Nice little touch there. Gibbs puts it on over. He finds the corner. Mr. Powerpuff socks himself with a great play there. He's been all over the floor, as he has been this whole tournament. One of my favorite players to watch. Appreciated it a lot. He came over and actually told me I was doing a good job yesterday, so just for that, he's become one of my favorite players. It's always nice to be appreciated a little bit, but
a winning way to Lucas's heart is compliment him.
Absolutely. But I appreciate the great volleyball he's put on all tournament, and he's just going to get the ball on over, that being Alex Gibbs. Here goes middle. Goes to get it. Ruben couldn't get it. And #5, Sean Bruss for Redeemer. All fired up off that big smashing spike there. 5-3 now for the Humber Hawks. Redeemer finding a way to really battle back here in the closely contested 5th set, which, as mentioned, goes to 15 points, not 25. So we're getting pretty close. Zaitsev couldn't, Mike couldn't get that through. He's going to get it back on over here. DeBoer gets it. Clayton unable to bump it up to his teammates to make a play off of it. A greatly placed ball by DeBoer. unable to do anything with it. 5-4 Humber now. Intensity in this one really starting to pick up. Number 13 for Redeemer. Zach Burke set the serve. Here we go. Humber setting up. Clayton's got to get it over the net. He can't smash it like he'd probably like to. Boom. It is DeBoer with another smashing play right in the middle of the net like we have seen over and over from him. We got to take another look at that. What a play there. Here we go. Perfect set. Look at the placement of the ball. Smashing it down right there, right in the middle of the floor. Finds the open gap. Let's see if Burke can get it back over. What a look we had on that one. Here goes. Oh, and it is going to be more points for Redeemer as they find the way to pull ahead a little bit. Wayne Wilkins beside himself. The defense was unable to find the way to make the play on that ball. And we are going to have another timeout. Wayne Wilkins calls it for Humber. Or, well, the referee right now is saying we got to attend to the floor first.
Gotta wipe up that sweat from these boys.
Hard work, Ryla. The hard work needs
Absolutely.
we want it shown by the players, not lying there on the floor. Referee not allowing Mr. Wayne Wilkins to have his timeout. He might be past his certain amount of allowed timeouts here in the fifth set. 6-5 for Redeemer. The crowd picking up, the intensity in this one picking up. We're in for a great end to the game. Number 11 for Humber there. Nicholas Quibbin was unable to make the play. The rookie with a little bit of a mistake there. Wayne Wilkins looks on. The nerves starting to set in. 7-5 now for Redeemer. The momentum in this one is really on the Royal side. Here we go. Clayton Blanchette with a very, very, very uncharacteristic play from Clayton Blanchette as he sets it to the side. And we are going to have a switch up halfway through the fifth set as we do. And this one, Redeemer with an absolutely amazing comeback in this one. Redeemer showing, flexing their muscles a little bit on Humber. The home crowd, not the home crowd, pardon me, the hometown fans for Redeemer coming to support their boys. It's always nice to see support. It means a lot to the players. As you can see, we've seen very motivated efforts from the home team Mohawk with their crowds. It can make a big difference when you got a gym of rowdy fans behind you.
Absolutely. The support means so much to everybody, and it goes a long way. I guess Wayne Wilkins still had one or two more timeouts, and he just called one right now.
Yeah, Wayne Wilkins finally does get it called now. Plead to the referee. 8-5 now, Ryla. So this one is getting close to near the end. As Redeemer is almost half the points away needed to get to that big number 15 and win this one. I'm going to be looking for the star players because this is now in these big moments where your leaders and the star players, part of me, need to step up and really be the focal point of the offense, defense, and overall team efforts for both of these squads. Clayton Blanchette's going to have to step up. Alex Gibbs, Rutledge for the Redeemer Royals, Sean Cross, Zach Burke. You're going to look for maybe not so much also your star players, but those guys with experience, such as Travis Dyke, who has 5 years experience for the Royals. And we look at the 5-year experience on the Humber Hawks side, and Michael Majason.
Another player we've been seeing a lot of tonight is Eli Tolkamp, and you know, I've mentioned before, 146 digs. I mean, that is just outstanding to me. I know if I was playing, I would be able to do that.
No, absolutely not. And when you're playing a guy like Clayton Brenshaw, who is just so good at spiking it down, you need a guy like him. Here we go. Alex Gibbs with a good spike. Gets it on over, and Humber finally coming out of the timeout is able to put some points up. 8-6. Pardon me. Brad Doze, the Redeemer coach, laughing it off there with his teammates, trying to keep the mood light as we're starting to get into the real intense moments of this one. Clayton scans with the ever so important serve. Here we go. Burke, nice play there by Clayton, and there's going to be an infraction called on the Humber Hawks. Unfortunately, 9-6 now. We are getting very close to the end of this one, and if the trend continues, we might see the miracle comeback happen from this Redeemer Royals team. Here goes Rutledge with this ever so important serve. Great play there. Here we go. We got Gibbs bringing it down, and you're going to see him fired right up now as he's going to have to serve. He's going to have to calm down a little bit, make sure he gets this ball over. You can't afford to have any silly turnover points go the wrong way now. 9-7, here we go. Just clears the net. Gibbs, 2 points in a row now. It is now 9-8. They are only 1 point back away from tying this one up.
And this is what we were seeing, you know, through all of these sets. It's just been so back and forth between these teams. They're so evenly matched.
Such an honor to watch and to commentate this one. Ball's going right up here. Meitzem gets it. Here goes Clayton. Gets it on out. It was called before it was even hit. Redeemer is all over this one now. They have definitely woken up. Riley continued to mention the mindset. They are officially locked in and playing some great volleyball here now. 10-8. Redeemer with the serve. Sean Bruss gets it on over. Here we go. Great play there by Redeemer. They are now 4 points away from taking the win in this one, 11-8. The Humber Hawks reeling a little bit here. You're starting to see the look on their faces. A little bit of panic setting in, the ever so important serve. Sean Bruss, here we go. Here goes Gibbs. Spikes it right at the net, unfortunately for him. Very
you can
angry
see the
with
frustration,
himself.
absolutely.
100%. Plays with a lot of emotion, and he wants to be the guy that makes that big play. And he just unfortunately spiked that into the net. Maybe the intensity of the moment starting to catch up with him a little bit there, unfortunately. What a game this one has been. The first game that I have had the honor of commentating that has went to a full 5 sets. We are now 3 points away for Redeemer of being able to take away the win in this one. Obviously, the coaches are going to be drawing up their biggest plays. Brad Does, as you can see there, and you can see Wayne Wilkins giving some chat to his team. Unfortunately, Alex Gibbs with his head hung there. He's got to step it up, though, and he's got to show that he's still ready to go.
One thing, too, you can see the Redeemer, the fans out there, they're just having a great time right now. You know, they're happy. They're seeing the guys have a possible win, and they're out there doing the Macarena.
As you can hear that playing on the overhead column, you can't see me, but I am definitely doing the Macarena as I have just been so impressed by this game. It has been an absolute honor to be able to watch and sit courtside for it. This is what the OCAA Championships produces, such high quality volleyball that we are so privileged to watch. Even in a consolation game that isn't for any medals or anything necessarily besides maybe a lot of pride, we're seeing such a great game. Here we go, we're back on their way. Meitzen puts it right over, unfortunately, for the Humber Hawks. 2 points away now from the miracle comeback of the Redeemer Royals. Alex Gibbs being subbed out now. A little bit of a primary focus on the defense here. Sean Bruss with the serve, gets it on over. Let's see what Humber can come up with. It's going to be Adam not being, he is able to get it on over, and Humber is not out of it yet as they continue to battle in this one. 13-9 now.
I mean, at this point, Lucas, I have no idea who's going to be the winner, and I'm so excited to see what happens.
I'm perfectly fine with that. This has been a great game. Here goes Rutledge. Look at that big play by Blakely, number 4 for the Humber Hawks, coming up big defensively as he has all game and all tournament. 13-10 now. We knew that this one wasn't over. We knew Humber had something up their sleeves. Let's see if they can continue this little comeback. 1 point away now from the set. As the serve goes right into the net, we talk about mistake-free volleyball being the best volleyball you can play, and the reason why a lot of the teams that have went on to advance is due to the fact that they have avoided the mistakes. And now it is set point here for Redeemer. And it's over. The comeback has officially happened. 15-10 win for Redeemer after going down 2-0. They come back 3-2 to win this one. 15-10 for the Redeemer Royals. An absolutely amazing team effort coming back on this one. Humber unfortunately got up really early and let the comeback happen for them. Overall, though, what an amazing volleyball game that we had the treat of watching in this one. As we said, the OCAA produces some of the best volleyball you will ever see, and we were treated to an absolutely amazing game here. And now we're going to honor the player of the game here. Don't be surprised. I shouldn't say don't be surprised. I don't know who's going to get this. There's so many great players on either side of the ball. We are going to start with Humber. Adam's going to get it. Number 14. Very proud boy there. Happy to get the MVP honor in the last game, getting a picture here.
Yeah, you know, you might have lost this game, but I mean, he is thankful to have this this honor.
Morgan Rutledge, probably would have picked him. He was so great on the offensive side of the ball with a bunch of great spikes. Morgan Rutledge being the fourth-year man out of Ancaster, Ontario. That's got to mean a lot to him, as it could be one of his last games in the Redeemer colors. So now we're going to get the handshake line, and coming up now at 2 o'clock, we're going to look ahead to the Fanshawe Falcons and the Georgian Bruins, getting ready to do battle for that ever so important bronze medal. What a game this one was. A lot of great sportsmanship being shown from these two teams. That's what it is all about at the end of the day. You have to respect your opponents, and the handshakes are showing just that. What an amazing game we were treated to there by the Humber Hawks and Redeemer Royals.
It has been such an amazing experience to be able to sit here and watch that and, to commentate on that.
Certainly it has been, and what a game this was. As we mentioned, at 2 o'clock we will have the bronze medal game here in the OCAA Championships, and we are so happy to be able to commentate this one. I'm Lucas Mancini for this one.
And I'm Ryla Weir, and we have a little bit of a highlight package to look at for one last before we go.
So here we go. Just to end this one, we're going to look at some of the great plays that were able for Redeemer to make to be able to create the comeback that they did. And that's all we have for today, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll see you at 2 o'clock.